So far, we have worked only with positive values. But the thing is that especially when we're working with money, we don't always have positive values. Sometimes we have debts, negative values. So to give an example of that, let's say I come into the store, I want to buy a widget, and I've got $6. So I put down my 6. And the shopkeeper is really, really nice, and he says, you know, you don't have enough money. Like $6 isn't enough. Actually, a widget is worth more than that. But here's a really nice thing. It's worth $8, but I'm still going to give you your widget anyway. And I'm going to take money out of my own pocket, and I'm going to put it in the cash register. So I'm going to pay the extra $2 that you owe me. However, I'm going to give you an IOU, and so that's represented by this little red square. So these red ones mean that the shopkeeper is going to give me my widget, but he's also going to give me 2 reminders that I owe him $2. So the way that I would represent this is I would say I give him $6, he gives me a widget, and then 2 IOUs, 2 negative dollars. Now the thing is, I don't really want to be in debt because I know I'm going to forget to pay, and then it's going to get really mad, and then it's not going to be good. So I'm like, ooh, nobody, you know, you can keep those IOUs. I'm going to go and I'm going to take 2 more dollars, and I am going to put them on my side of the counter. I'm going to give you the whole $8 that it's worth. So when that happens, what he does is he takes the coins out of the cash register and says, okay, I've got my coins back. That's going to cover your IOU, and we don't have to worry about that anymore. They just disappear like that. So what we did is we added 2 to each side, and now we can see that one widget is worth $8. Then everybody's happy. So the key thing to realize with working with negatives and working with these is that if we have these IOUs, an IOU and a coin, they make each other disappear. If they're on the same side of the counter, it's basically the same as putting nothing down. They're just like getting together to be nothing, to be 0. So if I just do another like little example of that, let's say here on my side, I did accumulate some debt sometime. And I say, okay, you know, I got my pockets, and let's say widgets are worth $2 today. So the clerk is giving me a widget, and I say, okay, here's my $2 for the widget, but then I also know that I owe you $1. And so if I'm going to owe you $1, then I'd better put down an extra $1 in order to cover that. And since those kind of get together and sort of cancel each other out, they sort of disappear, what I can see is okay, the widget itself is only worth $2. This extra $1 that I put on, that's covering my IOU. That's covering the debt that I owe to the sales clerk. So we can actually simplify all sorts of stuff with that. If we think about it, if I just say, like, I grab everything that's in my pocket and I say, okay, you know, here's 4 coins, and here's a couple of IOUs, and there's another coin, and that's what was on that side. And I look at this, okay, I grab this stuff. So these coins and IOUs, these positive and negative values, those are pairing off, and they're just sort of getting rid of each other. They're not something that I can actually use for payment. So I really only have the $3 right here to pay with, and that's what I really have to use. That everything else was just subtracting to be 0, basically. We can also have the same thing happen on the other side. So the store clerk can say, you know what, I don't have widgets right now, but I'm going to put down an IOU for a widget. Or we see exactly the same thing happen with the things sort of canceling each other out, even though I don't like that phrase. So for example, if the clerk puts down an IOU and a widget and another widget, I can be like, dude, man, like, what are you doing? Like, why are you giving me an IOU and a widget? I mean, that's basically the same as just giving me nothing. You might as well just give me the one widget. So the key thing to remember when we're working with these is that any time that you see something and its opposite, these are going to pair up, and they're the same as putting nothing down at all.